like I say, you would find that of the great leaders, I mean, they were people, they were being paid by me and led by me, basically. Mostly I was just hiring them and paying them. You know, it's like, you're hired, let's go do it. And they are great men, but they had great teams with them, of course. I don't want to say anyone had a bad uncle. But like building like the Taj Mahal and stuff like that, you know, I mean, you would find that there was only one person. I mean, a simple check of records and everything else, you would find that there was only one person with that much money to build something like the Taj Mahal. Like a lot of these people, it's like, where did they get the money? Where did they get the manpower? Where did they get the engineers? Like a lot of these people are like, I mean, I had groups that were like 12th generation builders, so like they had groups with them already. Like most of my groups, and most of the people that worked for me, you know, they were like 20th generation stone cutter. Like my dad was a stone cutter, his dad was a stone cutter, and all my family, my mom's a stone cutter, and you know, and so I used those kind of people mostly. I paid them, directed them, and basically we did great things like great buildings and stuff like that. And so I had like 20th generation stone cutters working for me, or like 20th generation ship captains. Like I was born on the sea, right, with my mom, which you said you could actually be along for the ride. It's like, yeah, well, I mean, that was another thing about my ships too. You could always tell my ships because it would be, the captain would have his wife with him, usually, and she would cook and stuff like that, for the rest of the crew. Like her job, she worked pretty hard. And I think a couple of the other guys would also have their wives with them as well. I think senior staff had wives with them, and the wives would cook and feed the rest of the crew, while the senior staff, you know, or just women that wanted to come along. He's like, well, it could just be women that just want to come along, you know, or women that want to be there too or work, you know. So I mean, I wasn't all that picky, but a lot of my ships, you know, they had a lot of my nicer ships had room for two. You know, which is basically male, female, or just two females bunked up together. I was like, yeah, why don't we just have two bunks, and then if they want to shack up, they can shack up, and if not, but I think the captains usually had like a two-person bed or something like that. I did stuff like that, you know. So I mean, I had like 20th generation ship captains where it's like family history. You know, so like my captains, they knew what they could do on the water and what they couldn't do. Like my people, like I said, I had like 20th generation army officers. Like people could be like, well, 5th generation army person, you know, or 5th generation leader, you know. So like I had a lot of people that were like, you know, their father, their grandfather, and their father before them led these people. So they're leading these people too. So I mean, I had a lot of that going on. So those were my people, basically, the really experienced people, the people that knew about, you know, how to run a company, like 20th generation shoemaker. You know, those were my people. And you know, I always like kept my loyal people, my good people, because they're like experts. Like I said, you can't buy a 20th generation shoemaker. You don't learn that in school. You know, I mean, these people knew every element of their job. You know, they, you know, so like you can't just buy them. You can't just make them up. You know, I mean, you taught them, raised them, gave them a ship, gave them, you know, supported them all this way, and they're 20th generation, like 20th generation animal trainer. You can't buy that. you can't just learn some things. Like either you do know that and you've lived it your whole life, or you haven't. And so all my people were like really, really, really rock solid, absolute people. And so I had really good people. And so anyway, so my people are like irreplaceable. They're priceless. And so, like I said, I treat them really well. Like I make sure that houses are built for them. I make sure that they have cars. I make sure that they are treated right. And then somewhere around like 1920 or 1910, someone wants to go around and shoot all my people and then just be like me. And it's like, you can't just learn 20th generation armor specialist or 20th generation metallurgist. Like, you can learn that in a lifetime, but like I say, you can't just make that up. So anyway, a lot of my people were like that. So I had some really amazing work. Like I said, I kept my team, and my team like 20th generation city builders. It's like, they're on their third and fifth city that they're building, or third and fifth sewer. Anyway, so my people are like really amazing and stuff like that, and I protect them really well. So anyway, and then we get into the elections and the people voting for people, and it's like some people can be more popular, but they're not necessarily better. So life kind of goes, because like these people are just wanting to be epic, but not epic. But they're more popular. So, people trust everything once. So anyway, so life kind of like goes down and whatever, but my people are so good that they kind of maintain and whatever. Anyway, though, so anyway, with the Taj Mahal and a lot of other buildings, like somebody was going around making a run at all my work sites and all my cities, and they managed to take down 2 cities, or 3 cities. Like those cities you see, they're all bombed and destroyed. They do, and basically that's South Africa, pretty much. I'm pretty sure, like the Germans knew and the British people knew, and like my Germans knew that I wouldn't execute them. I had known them too well, and I didn't order their execution. I was like, no, it's not them. Those people are the ones that are protecting Europe. So, and there's no evidence, of course. So anyway, so I let them off, of course, and actually even get them protected, and even moved into my and have them train new people. So anyway, because they're trying to use my authority to basically work against me, to get themselves in a position of power. And the closest that they ever get really is JFK, and that like it's like, no, and everyone's like, he's a psychopath. So I'm like, nah, yeah, you're right. So anyway, and Nixon never really was president, so I'm like, but then again, he fools enough people, so whatever. Anyway though, and basically it's just South Africa making runs at everyone, and pretty much trying to get away with stuff. But so it gets kind of confusing. But I mean, a simple check, and you find that no one else, these other people, like the South African, he didn't have the money for anything. He went in, he shot a bunch of people, he stole a bunch of gold, and basically he traded it for money, and had a hard time trading that much gold anyway. Because if you really are real, then you don't really, Anyway. So anyway, and basically JFK went to the printing press, shot a bunch of people, and basically started printing dollar bills. Dollar bills, y'all. And he actually failed the first 3 times, and was just using the one in the White House. There's a little one in the White House, and he was just printing off that for the Republican Party. And basically spending with a little bit. Nobody knew it was there, or existed or something, or I don't know. Anyway, he was just using that one to print money, basically for the Republican Party, and basically just counterfeiting. It wasn't the right paper either. It took them years to actually get the right paper. And mostly they were just forging documents and everything. And everyone else was like, what the? Anyway, because it wasn't really official, and it was just coming from like the FBI. And the FBI, some people were catching all these forgeries. And it's like, who's forging this? And like they're calling up like the DMV and the other things, because there's the other services, and they're trying to get them to do it so it'll be official, but it's not official. So anyway, so Nixon and JFK spent all this time trying to get the official people to do it, but they can't, so they just forge it up on their own and try and fake it using the FBI or the CIA things, and it doesn't really work out. So